Welcome. Today we will be disassembling a 2016 MacBook Pro A1708. We will be using a Pentalobe 1.2 millimeter. I think it's designated as a P5 or a TS4, and then a T5 Twerks. Okay, so we have 6 screws holding on the bottom cover. We'll go ahead and remove those. And to complete the removal of the cover, we're going to either push from the top or pull from the bottom and just slide the cover down to release it from the little catches in back. Just like that. Okay, first we would like to remove the battery. So this little piece of tape here, you're going to go ahead and just peel that off, and if it starts to pull up the ribbon, just go ahead and kind of put your thumb on it. That way it'll help make sure that you don't damage that ribbon. So if you can see that, there's a little connector underneath this tab, so you're just going to want to pull out of that connector. So you're going to want to lift up the little tab that retains it until it clicks up, and then just go ahead and pull that ribbon out. Alright, next we will be removing the ribbon for the trackpad. So remove the bracket and then pull straight up. Okay, next we will be removing the logic board. So you want to go ahead and remove all of the ribbons and screws connecting the logic board to the chassis. And then just lift gently up on these Wi-Fi antennas to disconnect. We have the bracket for the fan. This connector you just want to pop straight up. Then you're going to want to take a T3 and remove this hinge cover. which will allow you to access the last screw here on the end of the heatsink, which is a T5. Okay, and then last we have one more ribbon to free up. So you're going to want to do a T4 and just remove the metal brackets. Using your fingernail, just pop it straight out. Now on this particular laptop, the logic board it's bad. So we're going to go ahead and also remove the SSD. Just remove the retaining tape and then you can just pull it straight out of the logic board. Alright, next we will remove the fan, which first you're going to have to remove the speaker. So put a T5 on that, and it looks like there are 3 screws for the speaker. That will allow you to access the last screw for the cooling fan. And you're also going to have to pull back the ribbon. It's just a little bit of adhesive. You want to go ahead and peel up the tape and then open the little gate. And pull the ribbon straight out. Alright, next we are going to remove the display assembly from the laptop. I've already removed the 12 screws for the Wi-Fi antenna. It's a 0.8 pentalobe type bit. It's not a T3, so you're going to need a very small pentalobe to remove the fasteners for the Wi-Fi antenna. Next, we're going to remove the T3 screws for display controller covers. and a T5 for the screws retaining the display controller.
Alright, then you can, oops, looks like we gotta get that one little one out of there. So just pull up on the Wi-Fi antenna and then you can feed the antenna cables through the little hole in the chassis. Alright, now that we have the Wi-Fi antenna out, we just have a few more screws. So we're going to go ahead and hit these T3s. Okay, looks like the only other thing holding the display to the chassis is the hinges. So these are going to be a T9. So the easiest way I found to do it is to go ahead and get 2 of the screws out of each side, leaving one in place so that we can open up the display before we hit those last screws. So we'll go ahead and open up the laptop. And then you want to give it a little bit of support with your hand and just go ahead and open or remove that last screw from each side. And the display needs to be open so that the hinges can clear the chassis once they're loose. So if they're at all closed, they're just going to hold on to the edge there and you won't be able to free it until you've manually opened up those hinges. Alright, so we have the display assembly. Alright, so the laptop is almost totally disassembled. In this case, we're going to leave the battery module and the rest of the small accessories on the palm rest, including the battery modules. But if you want to remove the trackpad, you just have the 8 T5 screws. And that is it. That's how you disassemble a MacBook Pro 2016.